Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome back to my bedtime yoga series. Today we're going to be doing a sequence for an invigorated morning ahead. Some benefits to this class are going to be getting fresh blood to your heart, slowing down the breath, and also slowing down your heart rate. So if you cannot watch this video right now, go ahead and save for later. Otherwise, let's get started. So let's go ahead and get started. So just coming to a standing position, we're actually going to do a half forward bend at the wall. So if you want to just step close to the wall and go ahead and bring your hands in line with your hips and just make sure that your fingers are lined up. And you can walk your feet back, forming an L shape with your body. Rooting down through your feet and pressing through your hands, feeling that length in your spine as you press through the palms. Go ahead and draw those shoulder blades forward, and let's take 3 deep breaths together, breathing in and out through the nose. And as you exhale, let yourself open a little bit more in that chest and that upper back, drawing the shoulder blades in. And 2 more breaths here. Pressing through the palms, feeling rooted through the feet. 1 more breath. Go ahead and step forward, and let's actually get onto our knees. Coming into tabletop, go ahead and just tuck your toes under and press your thighs back, downward facing dog. So just like when our palms were at the wall, really pressing through our palms, drawing the shoulder blades in, and letting the heels fall towards your mat. The tricky part here is when you really attempt to bring those heels down, your chest closes a little bit. So really drawing the shoulder blades forward and just allowing the heels to move towards the floor. 2 more breaths here. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. 1 more breath. And you can lower those knees. So I actually forgot to mention that the props that we will need for our practice as we continue is 2 blocks. You can also use 2 thicker books, and you will need something to sit on. So I'm using a towel here. You can use a blanket, or a yoga blanket is really the best, but this will all work perfectly fine. So go ahead and pause the video and get what you need, and meet me back here when you have what you need. So now that we have our blocks, go ahead and you're actually going to put these blocks or these books right up against the wall. And we are training our chest to open and our heels to move towards the floor in dog. So I'd like you to just put the heels of your hand right against the block and just letting your hands, the rest of your hands, rest on the block. Coming right into dog, everything's the same. So just press your thighs back, and everybody's body is different, so you might need to just walk your feet in a little bit. So you should notice that your heels are a little closer to the floor, having that support. So really feeling that pressure of the heel of your hand against the block, drawing the shoulder blades in. Let's take 5 good breaths here, breathing in and out through the nose. And I'd like you to tuck your chin in towards your chest, feeling length in the spine all the way through the neck. And 3 more breaths here, really engaging those thighs, letting the heels fall towards your mat. This is a great position for getting fresh blood to the heart, especially if you are not comfortable with inversions yet, headstands and shoulder stands. This is a great alternative. And coming down, go ahead and just push those blocks to the side, and we are going to be sitting on our support towel or whatever you grabbed. So go ahead and sit right up against the wall. And if your hamstrings or your calves feel a little bit tight, you can bend those knees slightly. You are trying to get your just as little distance as possible between your leg and the mat. Go ahead and press through the balls of your feet and just lengthen through your spine. And just relax your face. Go ahead and gaze down towards your heart. And let's take 3 breaths here, pressing through our inner legs, through the balls of our feet, lengthening through the spine. 1 more breath. There's some tightness in the hips that can show up here. And go ahead and grab your inner knees, and you just want to bring the soles of your feet together. If you tend to have really tight hips, more height is going to make this a lot more manageable. So you might want to pause this video and grab another towel if you need it. So you want your glutes to be touching the wall, and go ahead and just lengthen through your spine and allowing those groins to soften as you lengthen. And I'd like you to just gaze towards your chest, bringing your attention inward. And relax your shoulders, roll your shoulders back as you lengthen through the spine. And really keeping your glutes connected to the wall, I'd like you to just lengthen your spine forward. And just deepening in that stretch, you can place your hands on the mat. And if you start to feel yourself popping up off of your support, you're probably going a little too far. So the goal here is not to get our head to the floor, it's really keeping that integrity in the spine. And let's take 5 more breaths here. Tucking the chin in towards the chest. Deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Slow, deep breaths. Feeling rooted through our sit bones as we lengthen through the spine. You might feel a difference from right to left, your hips. And 1 more breath here. And go ahead and come up. And you can just bring your knees up. Let's go ahead and take a little break. Just take a breath or two. If that felt like a challenge, I would encourage you to do that again. If you want a little something more, go ahead and grab your block, and you can just let your knees fall apart, and you're actually going to bring this block in between your feet. So this is really nice for moving the stretch more into your outer hips. So another thing that you can do if you want to explore this but your hips feel tight, you can just slide your feet out further. So go ahead and position yourself in a way that feels right for today. And you do want your glutes pressed up against the wall. Go ahead and position yourself. And same thing, I want you to just lengthen through the spine. And you're going to start to feel it immediately as you lengthen. Just relax those shoulders as you lengthen through the spine. And you're probably going to start to feel difference between the right and left hip here more than anywhere. So if you feel ready, go ahead and staying rooted through the sit bones, you can just hinge forward. You're not going to be able to hinge forward as much, keeping the length in the spine because of the block. So we're going to take 5 deep breaths here. Notice if you are holding in one hip or the other, and just soften. Go ahead and bring loving awareness there, breath. And 3 more deep inhales and exhales here, tucking the chin in towards the chest, long spine. And just with every breath moving a little bit deeper. 1 more breath here, softening in those hips. slowly come out. This is one of my favorite yoga poses. And go ahead and just bring those knees up nice and slow. So go ahead and get rid of your block, and we are going to practice child's pose in a way that really targets the hips. So we should be able to really enjoy this after that hip work. You can just get rid of that support. So you're going to actually bring your toes about 3 inches apart, and your knees are going to be really wide, at least as wide as the outer edges of your mat. And same thing, I want you to focus on, so go ahead and come onto your hands. I'd like you to move into this slowly. So keeping the spine long, I want you to just sink down through your hips. You're just sinking down, keeping the spine long, and just gradually you can rest your head on the mat. So drawing the shoulder blades in, lengthening through the spine, really sinking down through the hips. And it doesn't matter if your hips are elevated, it's all the same awareness of just letting gravity do its thing, sinking down through the hips, just being super intentional. You should feel this in your groins, your hips. Let's take 3 breaths here together. Breathing in and out through the nose. 2 more breaths at your own pace. And 1 more breath. Go ahead and bring your arms overhead, lengthening through your arms. You can spread your fingers wide and coming right up into tabletop. And then bring your knees about hip distance apart. You might want to walk your hands in a little bit. And on the inhale, go ahead and round your spine. And 1 vertebrae at a time, go ahead and open. On the exhale, rolling those shoulders back. Do about 4 more at your own pace. Hinging at the hips, really feeling fluid in your hip area as you hinge. Move. 2 more breaths. Spreading across your shoulders and rolling those shoulders back as you open. Hinging at the hips. 1 more breath. And on the exhale, just rolling those shoulders back. And child's pose one more time, just the basic child's pose, bringing the big toes together, knees a little wider than hip distance apart. You can just let your spine round a little bit more this time, just resting the head. And go ahead and bring your hands by your head, creating more space to breathe in your lungs. And let's take about 3 breaths, as full and deep as you can. Go ahead and breathe at your own pace. Breathing in and out through the nose. And just allow your abdomen to soften as you breathe. Allow your hips to soften. Letting your head really rest on the floor. 1 more breath here. And we are going to end our session today with our legs up the wall. So if you want to go ahead and grab your support, and it's really nice if you have something, I'm going to go ahead and show you. So you basically want to have a little bit of distance between your support and the wall so that your glutes can just cascade over the support. So you want to cartwheel up. So you can just sit with your hip right up against the wall. So it's like one glute's on the support. And then you're just going to cartwheel up. And you might need to make a few adjustments and kind of just wiggle yourself a little bit closer. So feet are a little wider than hip distance apart. And And you can just bring your hands onto your abdomen. So this is one of the best things that you can do for your immune system, just bringing fresh blood to the heart. It's also really good for your thyroid gland. So the legs are just active enough to keep steady on the wall. So go ahead and just tuck your chin in. And let's breathe deeply here. So let's take about 6 breaths together. Breathing in and out through the nose, and as you inhale, just feel your hands lift. Allow the breath to go that deep. And full exhale, just letting go of any tension in your face or your shoulders. About 4 more breaths here. So they say that 20 minutes of this is equal to about an hour of sleep. So just something to think about. And 2 more breaths here. Allow yourself to be supported by the floor, not holding those shoulders up. Just 1 more breath. Feels really nice here. And I'd like you to just cross your legs at the wall. Just take note of what leg is on top, and you can just cross your legs, allowing these hips to open. Just take a couple of breaths here. Opposite leg on top. Just take a couple breaths. Just feeling peaceful and invigorated all at the same time. To come out of this, you can just bring your feet anywhere on the wall, and you can actually just wiggle yourself off of your support. Go ahead and keep bringing yourself away from the wall, and you can actually just grab hold of your support under your knees. And ending with Shavasana, go ahead and just let your feet fall away from each other and let your palms face up. And really just allowing your chest to be soft and open. Close your eyes, relaxing the legs, arms, abdomen, neck, the head, jaw, face. Just allow yourself to be completely supported without doing anything or without having to earn it. Just freely given. And just lean into it. And notice if you're gripping in your abdomen, just let it go. And just letting the breath be whatever it is without trying to control it. Breaths here together. Go ahead and wiggle your toes and your fingers. And whenever you're ready, we'll meet you back in a seated position. thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, you can find the rest of the series in the link down below. And we also have a yoga app called Yoga Plus, also linked down below. Thanks again for joining.
Welcome to Yoga Plus. Courses available from pupil to yogi. Sort by yoga, fitness, and instructors. Create your own routines. Access the pose library. Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth, available on Google Play and the App Store.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with